Hey! Welcome to another Ramble Radio, motherfucker.
But
Yes.
this Ramble Radio,
Yeah, number
the
350.
one we're doing right now,
Number
which is
350.
technically in the books already,
Already done. This Ramble
Already
Radio
done.
350 is already done. It doesn't.
was
we don't need
also a video.
to- Oh.
You didn't even know you just did a video, but you
Wow. Wow.
did. That's how it works.
Wow. And to paraphrase Deion Sanders to the radio people, he made it personal. He had to go make it personal. We were just
He
going to
did.
have a Ramble Radio.
Nope.
He had to go make it personal.
I took the Matt Rule route and I made it personal.
You know who else did? Did you hear about this?
No, what this is different than the Matt Rule thing?
Yes. Colorado
what happened?
State's head coach. Colorado State's head coach. The
What'd he do?
balls.
What'd
He
he
said
do?
Something like, my mother raised me right, so when I'm talking to adults, I don't wear glasses or hats on. I take off my glasses and just shitting on Dion for wearing shades and a hat during post-game press conferences. Because when I'm talking to adults, it's like, dude, you're going to get fucking like you weren't gonna get creamed before.
Dude.
And so Dion,
Why didn't he just call him the N-word in a press conference? That's what he's trying to say. Why didn't he just say it?
Well, what's weird is because he's a black dude, the Colorado State head coach, I believe.
Is he?
I guess not, because my God, like,
Is he?
Right, and dude, so they showed Dion at practice, and it wasn't even him. He had his team surrounding him in the field, and
Yeah.
he goes, "We were just gonna have a game. We were just gonna go out there and have a good game." But he made it, and the whole team goes, "Personal. All right, we just wanted to have a good game, the Battle of Colorado, but now he done and went and made it personal." It was like, dude, you're gonna get slaughtered.
Well, I guess it's good that Colorado State coach was black, because that a white guy said that,
Oh my God.
that would have been blatant.
Brutal. How do you even? Oh,
Yeah, I
there's
mean,
that you resign.
The
Tomorrow.
subtext of that would have totally been.
You resign immediately if you bye bye. Now,
But
Eddie,
why are you poking Dion? I don't
Why?
understand why people are poking him.
It's just like, I don't It makes no.
I don't get it.
He's never been. Here's the thing. By the way, this is Ramble Radio 350. You think it's just you and I?
Yeah.
Well, it's getting uglier and uglier for this guy. So yeah, it's
Poor Cody.
Poor Cody.
Well, he made this bed. He made this bed.
He's sleeping in it.
He's
but-
now sleeping in this bed he made for himself.
And it's not like Dion had this history of if you provoked him, you got the better of him as a play. I mean, he flourished. I mean, look at Andre Rison and the Falcons, his first game back.
Yeah, if you talk
With
trash
the
to
Niners,
Dion, you got 0 catches.
Fuck, man.
I never understood that. It's like trying to talk trash to Jordan. Like, why would you ever
What are you
trash
doing?
talk Jordan?
What do you do? And I'm assuming dude is trying to make a name for himself. That's has to be it. It's just like, how can I make a name? Okay, well, I'll just go pretend that.
I guess I figure if I piss Dion off and then I
Right.
do beat him, then I can carry that around.
I'm the greatest, but
I do-
God. Ooh.
If I lose to him, though, then I just lost to a pissed off Dion.
And do you fire? Let's say you're the athletic coordinator for Colorado State, and Colorado wins by like over 40 points. Like, are you just like, thank you for your time, but you clearly don't have it all up here, so we're not. I mean, who was the guy that? Fuck. Was it the defensive coordinator who mocked Washington's offensive line before the Super Bowl and called them all stupid? Remember that? It was who was it? It was the Buffaloes? It was
Buffalo Bills. The Bills' defensive line.
He was just talking shit about how dumb the Hogs were and all, and y'all fucking rolled them. And what are you thinking?
I never got the point of talking trash to other
dude.
people
Unless you are Jordan, I mean, and the thing about Dion is he doesn't talk, at least not publicly. He hasn't been shitting on other coaches that he's going up against.
No,
he hasn't been. So it's really interesting. Like
even when he was playing, he talked about himself all the time, but he didn't really take shots at receivers.
It didn't seem like he ever took personal. I mean, the only thing was Andre Rison. And all he said was, I wish the two of us could be out there alone so I could go at it. But then they're friends now. You know what I mean? Like they became friends again after that whole split. And dude, part of me wonders, is this just all kayfabe and like college football's like, no one's going to watch this game. They assume Deion's going to win big. So how do we get people to give a fuck about this game? Okay, look, they go to that coach.
Just poke him a little bit and just poke him.
Here's a check.
Please.
Here's a check. Poke him. We'll give you a job as an analyst once you get fired. You could be like our D team. You'll cover like fucking, you'll cover the unranked games that we.
If Deion wins like 7-8 games and goes to a bowl and wins a bowl, like imagine his recruiting classes the next 3 years.
Dude, it's gonna be fucking scary.
Every top athlete's gonna want to go to Colorado.
Like, wait a minute, I want to go there.
I want to play for Prime, and Prime shows up at your door to recruit you.
How are you not awestruck? Dude, and look, I know this is gonna come across as like insane knee-jerk hyperbole, but how does it not carry equal holy fucking shit when you open that door and Deion's standing there as it would if Nick Saban were standing there? To me, that's pretty. If you're just a kid, you were like, oh my fucking God, it's him. I think it's very equal to that just star power of like, holy
I mean, Saban's got, 2 handfuls of rings and he can show you, but Deion just shows up and it's Deion. You're like, I want to play for you. And
Jesus Christ.
You're going to tell Deion no?
How do you tell that guy no? Exactly. Like this is fascinating. What it is, I don't know. And especially since Rodgers is out, could this be, and I heard a commentator say this during the Nebraska game last weekend, is this the biggest story in all of sports? Deion and what he's doing over there. Like if it continues, like I'll put it this way. If they win next week and if Colorado wins a week after that, and if USC runs the table up to their week 5 or week 6 meeting.
If that game goes, if it's undefeated, it's undefeated at that point. That's the biggest story in sports
Colorado and
right
USC, how is that not like, how does
I still think USC rolls the shit out of them.
I do too, because I just don't think they're ready yet for.
If you get to that game undefeated against USC,
it's the biggest.
That's the biggest story.
Like
because they won one game last year.
Yeah, they won one game,
yeah.
And now
it's the biggest story.
And that becomes, if Colorado wins, they are in control of their own destiny to make the playoffs. If they make it to USC undefeated and they beat USC, right? Because USC's ranked number 5 right now. Mm-hmm. If Colorado wins that game, I don't see how they're not in the top 4 or at least top 5 after that. And are just in control of their own. I mean, if they win out, they're probably in the playoffs. Like, it's that fucking. And, dude, if he can. Dude, imagine, fuck a bowl game. What if they beat USC and Deion gets him into a fucking playoff game this year? I mean, it is. I don't see. Colorado is your powerhouse for the next however long he wants to be there. Because, like you said, every kid is going to want to go play there. It's going to be fucking bonkers. Like.
And then Florida State fires their coach and begs him to come coach there.
They throw everything they've ever made.
Biggest contract in the history of college football.
In the history of college football. Please come here. Please come home. Oh, that's what's fascinating. This is just beginning. The whole Deion Sanders taking over college football story. We're at chapter 2.5 right now.
It's interesting.
Like this is, it's now we have massive fish to fry.
Oh, yeah. We got to fry some fish.
Ahsoka. Look, episode 5 is what we just saw.
Yes.
I enjoyed it, but went right back to Ahsoka, didn't it? I mean, that episode could have been 25 minutes long, and I thought it would have been epic. Loved your theory, which we'll get to in a second. But my God, is Filoni in love with those fucking whales? Jesus fucking, do we need 10 minutes of these fucking whales? Do we need, I mean, especially when like, it was laugh out loud stupid when they tried to build tension with the New Republic showing up. Like, what are they gonna fucking do? Yeah, like Leia's gonna order them all nuked. Get the fuck out of here. This is so stupid. It was just like, we're really wasting we already know what's gonna happen. Let's get going. We don't need Ahsoka standing on the ship looking at the whale for 45 minutes. And I also thought the stuff with Anakin, you just needed one flashback.
Oh, I didn't mind that. I didn't mind going.
It really was. It felt like just remember how cool Rebels and Clone Wars were. Like that's just what it was like.
I like the first flashback. I liked because it shows how young she was.
Right, but that's all you needed. That flashback. Well, that first all you needed.
But the second one was the Siege of Mandalore when they had already parted ways.
Right.
And Anakin, that was the Clone Wars, that season 7 Clone Wars scene where Anakin didn't, and she had obviously gotten stronger without him as a mentor. And then I didn't mind seeing the Siege of Mandalore. I thought it was kind of cool.
I was like, dude, this guy's just in love with this shit again. And I just didn't think it, like what you needed from that to move the story forward was 30 seconds in each flashback. And he dragged it out. He
dragged it out, but I didn't mind. I like seeing live action Clone Wars. Like I didn't mind that being dragged out. I like that more than, 15 minutes of Purgles flying around in the sky.
Oh God, enough with that.
I enjoyed the episode and I dug it, and I didn't. It got to me, but like I was telling you, I wish this was episode 2. Because I felt like this is where I feel like I'm into the story now, and now he's got me hooked, and I don't.
All my length complaints out of the way. This is still light years better than episodes 1, 2, and 3 of Ahsoka.
1, 2, and 3. Two was okay. 1 and 3 bothered me.
Whoo, it were hard.
1 and 3 was very slow. 2 was okay. This is
getting like at least, but I'm happy that it didn't just go right back down again. Like it would for me. I thought like it definitely has come down after episode 4 because episode 4
is a great episode.
So good. And now I think the only problem that show has is how the fuck do you put Balin on the sidelines for any episode now? Like it's just dude needs to at least have two lines of dialogue in every episode.
Yeah.
My
only complaint with this episode is it was because Balin's in the other galaxy now, but like I want to see more Balin. That's just my only complaint.
It was I thought it was just a little too long, but like I did like.
It felt like 2 episodes. You had the whole World Between Worlds part, which should have been 1 episode, and then the other thing when they're back on the planet, it just felt like, okay, I know, just find her, and then go.
Yes,
like
it was.
The second part was definitely slower.
Too long. But like, let me ask you. Let's go because your theory is, you think they're gonna do it? Do you think they're gonna have the balls?
I don't know if they're gonna have the balls to do it, but obviously, that episode was Anakin becoming, to me, it proves that he was the chosen one because it looks in that whole thing in the World Between Worlds, it looks like he's the father.
And now to those who just come to our podcast for the finger bang talk, we're referencing an episode of Clone Wars and Star Wars.
You might want to skip ahead about 10 minutes and we'll talk about finger banging.
We're never going to not talk about that. But we're referencing an episode of Clone Wars. They kind of see the nature of the Force, and it's represented by a father who's the balance, a son who's the dark side, and a daughter who's the light side.
Right. And in the Clone Wars, the daughter is killed by the brother, I believe.
Yes.
And her essence goes into Ahsoka, and that's what that little owl bird is that floats around near her all the time.
Right.
And then
so you're thinking.
I'm thinking the father, obviously, the father died in that episode too, and all that was left. And then I think the brother and Anakin battled, and that's where the brother showed Anakin. Anakin saw the vision of what he would become in that episode, and then the brother erased his memory so he wouldn't know about it.
Right. Right.
And then so what's believed, I think the father prophesied that Anakin would take his place as the father. And that seems to be what's happening. He seems to be the balance between the light and the dark. And we know who the sister is. And now we just got to figure out who the son is.
And to bring it back, Heaven by Bryan Adams is a top 5 finger bang song.
Absolutely. I mean, anything by Jefferson Starship and then Bryan Adams.
But so so you now what's your theorem here? Because the end of this episode, if we're to believe, and I thought I thought it dragged, but I thought was one of the best shots in all of Ahsoka so far was on that battle when Anakin's walking in as Anakin and there's an explosion and he's Vader and then he's back to Anakin. So, and then when they're fighting again in the actual, like the the light bridge or whatever, and he's flipping between Sith.
He's got the
Jedi.
red eyes.
Yeah, and then he'll flip between red and blue eyes, and so you think he is fulfilled the prophecy and is the embodiment of the balance of the Force,
yes,
right?
He is the one who will bring balance back to the Force, so he is the father now.
Right. So
and he was teaching Ahsoka a final lesson, I guess.
Right.
About balance in the Force, and that there's light and dark. It's not all one or the other or whatever it's going to be.
So you think Ahsoka is now the daughter? She now represents.
Well,
the
after
light side.
that scene, she was she was in her all white garb,
white little cloak on. Got that.
And then when
cloak.
she had the white cloak, but then when she went and talked to the Purgle, she was full on. Everything was white,
all white,
which is much the way the sister was dressed in the Clone Wars.
Right. Would this have been better if the Purgle talked like Goliath from Davy and Goliath? Where do y'all need to go? He's just like this big redneck, stupid fucking.
Well,
sure, hop in my mouth. I'll take you flying to another galaxy. Does it ruin it at all? It's the Purgle.
No, I think it accentuates it. I really do, to give the Purgle some personality.
And it just moves like those fucking, like those Chuck E. Cheese country bands where it's just like. It's just
you hear the eyes open.
Yeah, the worst animatronics fucking CGI. Well, where are we going now? So
but now I'm wondering who the son might possibly be. If we're going to go down, if you're going to follow that theory and go that way, then the son has to be somebody.
You have to have a dark side. And who do you think? Who's your theory? Come on, we got to break this news. We got to break this news here before some dipshit.
I think it might be Ezra.
Oh! Do you think they do that? The most beloved, one of the most beloved characters. Wow. And they just make him pure evil. And
but how fucking badass would that be?
How great would that be? Could that be Thrawn? Just, I'm turning this motherfucker. Like, could that? I mean, they've been alone together,
maybe that's why. Maybe that's Balin's purpose this whole time. Is
I got to stop Ezra?
Yeah, or maybe it's the whole thing is like the Thrawn is just a smokescreen he's throwing out there. He wants to get to Ezra,
right,
to make that his Padawan.
Now, here's what I'm worried about.
What?
The safe choice is to make either Balin or what's her face, the fucking Billie Eilish, his fucking Hot Topic chick, Hot Topic manager, the safe choice is to make one of them the dark side. I think eventually, if we're gonna go down this road, but God, how great if they set that shit up and Ezra is like fucking Palpatine for the next trilogy. For the next movies, he's the fucking big bad evil fucking, or he influences the next Palpatine. He's like, well, I kind of need somebody, or like maybe y'all have Rey. Well, fuck, let me get.
Hear me out. Maybe, and this is like this is going deep. If they make Ezra the son, you got Ahsoka as the sister, Anakin's the father, and now we're going into, and we know how.
Threesome.
It's a hot ass throuple. It's taboo 7. You have all of this is being slow walked to Heir to the Empire film, right?
Yep.
Where Thrawn's gonna be the big bad guy,
right?
But in the background, you have this whole thing playing out with Ahsoka the sister, Anakin the father.
Yeah.
Maybe Ezra's the son. Maybe at that point, Ezra and Ahsoka battle each other out, and take each other out in that movie, and then they ascend to their places as the son, the sister,
son and sister,
and Anakin is the father, and that's how you end Heir to the Empire.
Oh man!
As those are the new 3.
Right. But then do you not really, you don't really see him again, probably, right? Too much, I would
I
assume.
mean, you didn't see him in the sequel trilogy, of course, but if you go all the way to
And you
that Heir
never
to the
really
Empire
saw him
movie,
after Clone Wars. They weren't really around that much either. After those main episodes that introduced him,
after
right?
that, like it's like a 2 or 3 episode arc, and then you didn't
Right.
see him again until Rebels on that painting.
And that was it, wasn't it?
But you always knew that they were the nature of the Force.
Right. Right.
So maybe going forward, then that may be stuff that Rey deals with in her sequel in whatever movie she does that takes place
Right.
10 years after the sequel trilogy. But I'm just saying that might be a great way. Ahsoka and Ezra eventually transition to the Force, and they become the sister and the brother, and Anakin's already there as the father.
Now, as far as the timeline we're at, this movie, Heir to the Empire, is still before these most recent trilogies, right?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So
I'm assuming it's going to be the way the First Order came back.
Yeah.
Heir to the Empire.
Yeah. Right. Right. Man.
Thrawn is amassing some sort of army or something. I don't know. I don't know.
Well, man, it's thank God Ahsoka hasn't started sucking again. That was my main concern, was that after 4 it would just somehow revert to 1 and 3, but it didn't.
No, I think right now at this point they've got me hooked into the story after that episode 4 that they would really have to shit the bed in 6, 7, and 8 for me to go back to feeling the way I did after episode 1.
Right. It would have to get real. That's true. It would have to get really fucking bad.
I mean, it would literally have to be like
more of those fucking whales for 20 minutes. I'm gonna be annoyed.
I mean, maybe if they show a little girl being chased around a town square by Obi-Wan Kenobi again for 15 minutes. Maybe that might do it.
So fucking bad. Look,
but I don't think. I think we're in the last 3 episodes. We're gonna see Thrawn.
Right.
We're gonna see more Balin.
Fuck
I don't
yeah.
see how it's gonna not be
right. How is it not gonna
good.
be great? Yeah, yeah. I'm with you. Well, here's the bad news, Eddie. Contractual. God damn it.
Skeletor.
Yeah.
God, I don't even know what to ask you.
What do you
anymore.
ask this fucking moron?
I don't even know what to ask this guy anymore. Okay. We know. We were talking about Deion Sanders primetime.
Oh yeah, primetime.
At the beginning of
Coach Prime.
This Ramble radio,
Yeah.
Coach Prime, and he was such a great athlete. Now he looks like appears he's sort of ascended to being what could be the next great college football coach.
Yeah.
Is there anyone in Eternia that you've been associated with that when they were in their prime, you're like, this guy's the best ever, and did he ever ascend to be something even better than what he was before?
Oh, he's a little busy right now.
Oh, God.
He's got an anal cock in his mouth. we made a bet over Football Sunday whether Aaron Rodgers would last or not the whole game, and Skeletor said he would get injured. He won the bet, so he's got to suck my anal cock.
He-Man's mother has a giant pussy. Okay.
All right, Jesus Christ.
Why would that be the thing you bet to win?
That's so fucking weird.
Would you want to win that?
Oh God! Don't tell anybody, but I've shit in his mouth 4 times. All right, Jesus Christ. Cinesnob Cody.
It's a good thing Cody's not here.
It's so good he doesn't have to actually follow this.
Yeah.
Cinesnob Cody.
LaQuisha. Right.
Let's get LaQuisha. Crocodile Dundee 2 has to be higher than 3 for all of Crocodile Dundee's 2's faults, and there are plenty.
So many.
Better than 3.
Not as good as 1 as some people think.
Friend of the Ramble.
Maybe friend of the Ramble.
We have to talk to Sean about that theory. When we get him back on after those comments, we got to really. Do we put his feet to the fire?
We hold him to the coals for sure.
Well, there we go. That you know where to find us, Eddie. Where can all the fine folk find you? Okay, let's get Cody up there, but.
Yeah, can go. 5 days a week, patreon.com, The Ralph Report. Tuesdays, Fridays, Ramble Radio. Wednesdays, Ramble Proper.
There it is. I don't know if y'all know this, but you can find me in the same Ramble locales. You can find Eddie and Cody. I'm also streaming Twitch and Kick at Retro Rocha, YouTube every night on my YouTube channel. All 3 of them my playing old video games, 8 p.m. Central. Next week, I will be at the Funny Bone in St. Louis, Missouri. So if anybody is out, any Ramblers and James out in the St. Louis, Missouri area, fuck yeah, coming out and see me, St. Louis Funny Bone. We will see you next week. Have a great one. We love you all. Stay safe. Have a hell of a weekend. And until next time.